How many guys in the last 2 decades have come by in WWE that were just like you? Young, chiseled out of stone, full of potential. And how many of those guys fizzled out and went nowhere? Hundreds of them. Hundreds. But let me ask you this. How many people like me and Johnny Gargano have come around WWE? And how many of those guys made it to the level we're at? You can count those on one hand, because people like you are a dime a dozen, while people like me and Johnny Gargano are 1 in a million. Now shut up and listen to me, because I want you to prove me wrong. Come on, prove me wrong. Prove all these people wrong. You know how to do it? You know how to do it? I'll tell you. You stop thinking about the moments that were headed to you, and you start making your own moments. You know how to do that? You check your ego at the door. You look at yourself in the mirror. You realize you're not as good as you think you are, but you let your passion drive you to get better. And more importantly, you leave everything you have in this ring every time you step foot in front of these people. That's how you prove me wrong. That's how you become the future. That's how you become the face of WWE.
What up, Mr. Cage, Chicago Sweetheart, also known as The Shit Show?
This is Christian Rose, Old Evil, That Damn Coyote, Moonshine, Illinois' favorite son, The Truth, The Bitter Lunatic, a man with so many nicknames even I can't remember them all, proudly representing those damn coyotes. King in the Valley.
Yo, this is Slammer.
This is the Croc Rocket, Nickelback poppin', curls for all the girls, the Perminator, Sam Beal.
How you doing? This is the Corn Man, Corn Boy, a.k.a. Captain Gutierrez.
This is Sabotage.
How's it going, everybody? This is the wild child, Connor Hopkins, the handsome coyote in Those Damn Coyotes.
And you're listening to Primo, DB, and AJ.
You are listening to...
And you're listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
The Sit Down Marks.
And what you gonna do when Slammer Mania runs wild on you, brother? Sit Down Marks with DB, Primo, and AJ.
And you are listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
And you are listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
And I am on the Sit Down Marks podcast, and we're going to get some perfection today, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following Sit Down Marks podcast is set for one fall. Introduce first your heel host that is always helping to spread the good word of wrestling, Dirty Bird. Next up, the co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme, editor and producer, Primo. And finally, your co-host, straight out of your mama's kitchen, driver of the Grip Wagon, straight off a cliff, assistant editor and producer, AJ.
What's going on, everybody? Episode number 81 of the Sit Down Marks podcast. Come on in, sit down, let's chill. Let's talk about wrestling, man. You got 2/3 of the Sit Down Marks today. It's me and Primo right now for the time being. AJ's going to make a late run in with his, fancy rock star rock and roll lifestyle that he has. He's on podcasts. He's on local radio. He works for wrestling promotions and newspapers and, this man. Yeah. This man's all over the place. So,
absolutely.
But yeah, he'll be rolling in here with us lately. But with me today, as usual, the three-time Kurt Angle champion, not current, but three-time.
That's right, baby.
Kurt Angle champion and current King of the Mountain. What's going on, Primos? How you doing, brother?
Oh, just
Your
living
life is busy too.
Living the well, yeah, it's busy in other ways, but not as quite. His sounds really interesting. Mine's more of like a normal busy routine. Yeah, I have a lot of things going on as well. I just got my back is all better. I threw my back out over the past week, so
ouch.
It's okay. We're back. Well, we're back. My back is back, and we're back. Episode 81. So let's go.
Let's do it, man. I want to thank the sponsors, Jet Designs. That's JET Designs on Facebook. Old Primo's good old brother-in-law out there. He's cranking out those die-cast cars. He's making custom die-cast orders. So if you know anybody out there, I got a couple sitting in front of me right now. If you're watching live on YouTube, check him out. Here is just one of his many creations.
Yeah,
he did back when I used to do a little race broadcast in there. That's the Dirty Bird TV selection. But yeah, he's one of the best out there, man. So if you know a guy that's into custom die-cast cars and needs one made, check out Jet Designs on Facebook. And we want to thank everybody listening on all the podcast platforms, of course, Stitcher, Google, Spotify, Apple, all those. Thank you guys so much for listening to us. We appreciate it. Tell all your friends. And obviously, like we always like to ask, leave us that review. It really goes a long way in helping out the pod. And we also want to say thank you to our friends on SportsWire Radio every Friday, 6:15 usually on the East Coast, right before the Thomas Bryce Show.
That's right. The number one
Sports show. Sport.
You know who he had recently on?
Who do you have on there recently?
A friend of the pod, Mr. RP Davies.
I did see that. Yeah, that was very cool. RP's his steam is picking up, man.
Yeah. He's doing good, man. He's doing really good.
He's got a lot going on, and we usually talk to him through Twitter ever so often. It's funny he said that he actually asked how he hoped that we all were doing well lately. So RP getting things done. So yeah, he was on that. So go check out Thomas. He's always talking sports there with the guys, and we thank them for running the pod for us, not just Friday, but throughout the week instead. So you could have even heard our last week's pod this morning. He ran it for us this morning.
That's right.
So we really do appreciate it, man. Thank him out and go check him out on Twitter. All right. So we did another edition of Primo's Takeover here on the Sit Down Marks podcast. Primo's done this a few times. Always fun. Nobody knows what's going on but Primo. And I think he kind of likes it too.
I really like that.
Cool. Yeah. So taking over the captain's wheel, I guess, if you will. So let's see what he has maybe persuaded the jukebox maybe to play for us here today.
I did. I stuck a quarter in that machine, and I told her, play an oldie but a goodie, and here it is.
Get ready to fly.
Right. For those that don't know, if you're an AJ Styles fan, that's peak AJ Styles right there. That's TNA AJ Styles when I first became a fan. So that's great.
Right. Yeah. That was as soon as that music hit, I was thinking, man, it's been a long time since I heard that.
Yeah.
And I was almost thinking, man, it sounds a little different, but it's not. It's the exact same song as it's been. Yeah. So, yeah, nice little throwback there for AJ.
Yeah. And that's also one of my favorite entrance songs, too. It just happens to be. But, yeah, that's if you, for those of you that think that AJ Styles has only been in WWE, he had a whole career in TNA before that and Ring of Honor, everything, all over the world. So, go check out his prior work, too, because he became phenomenal before he was in the WWE.
Yeah, and if he had only wrestled at one of those promotions and that had only been his career out any of these promotions, he'd have still been the moniker of phenomenal. Like it would have been a Hall of Fame career for sure. He's that good.
Absolutely,
No doubt.
I agree.
Yep. All right, let's talk headlines here, Primo. What you got?
Yeah, I got a few for you. So, number one, right out the gate, I got to talk about him. Fellow Texan. I come from the land of the rattlesnake, so let's talk about the rattlesnake.
That's right.
He was recently inducted into the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
For Stone Cold.
That's right.
Not a beer.
Yeah, you crack one open for the working man, for Stone Cold.
That's right. Blue collars.
Yeah. So So not the WWE Hall of Fame, but the actual pro wrestling as a whole Hall of Fame. Stone Cold was inducted.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that's even higher credentials, really, when you're worldly renowned like that amongst the sport.
It's the broad spectrum, yeah.
Yeah.
So next up we have PWI. Actually, today PWI. DB is real familiar. He gets PWI magazines on rotation.
I do.
PWI has released some of the results. They released all the results, actually. The PWI 500 of 2022. Here are the top 10.
Spoiler alert for anybody that don't want to know it yet.
That's right. If you don't want to know, I'll give you 2 seconds.
And fast forward about a couple minutes, maybe.
Yeah, because we're going to talk about them.
Yes, we are.
I'm going to start from 10. 10 down to 1. At number 10, Jonathan Gresham. Fair.
Legit.
Yeah, that's legit.
Some say best technical wrestler in the world.
Yeah, he's legit. Number 9, Big E.
Yeah, obviously based on his title run,
right?
And being, he had he was over, had a huge year.
Yeah, the evaluation period he was active, so it goes off of that too. Yeah, and unfortunately he sustained an injury, but I did read recently that he is now able to nod with his neck, so that's good. That's a big step.
That's awesome progress.
Next up, number 8, AAA. He's he is a AAA champion, Vikingo. He's Hijo del Vikingo.
Yeah. Haven't seen him wrestle a whole lot, but what I have seen, a pretty entertaining. Makes a lot of sense why he's the champ down there, and he's another one. You wouldn't know it here, but I do read a lot about things going on outside of the U.S. as far as wrestling, and I hear him a lot. He's a big draw in Mexico.
Yep.
You know what I mean? A lot of people are coming. He's drawing people into Mexico to watch AAA to just check him out. He's there. He's a little bit of their cash cow, I guess. Right.
What
now,
they call that? Putting butts in seats.
That's right. Yeah, he sells the tickets, man, and So legit.
This next one comes at no surprise. You might should have been, in my opinion, a little further up the list. But number 7, Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, I think he should have been at least ahead of
maybe a top
2
5.
guys. Yeah, 2 guys ahead of him at least.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. He's been on fire, obviously, since he went over to AEW and just putting on clinics week after week. So
right, and for me too, honestly, for me, like with AEW, their move that really made me be like, all right, they're legit. It's time to go. They're a legit competitor. Like when Bryan went over there, like it was a big shift, and a big star went to another company outside WWE. So yeah, I mean, you could probably really put him anywhere in the top 10, but yeah, I was thinking at least top 5 for Bryan.
I agree. I say, well, we'll get to that, but number 6, which is interesting. I'm not saying that he's not good, but I just think, this over the past year, but whatever. Right. Number 6, Cody Rhodes. I mean, they could be going off for the WrestleMania return alone. I don't know, but
I think storyline driven wise, he generated a lot of buzz.
Yeah.
Changing, companies, having some awesome matches, and then the whole tear of the muscle thing and wrestling through that.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I forgot about the torn muscle thing.
Yeah, they go off a little bit of that kind of stuff too. So, I'd say top 10 for Cody, but 6 is too high.
Yeah, I agree.
6 is too high.
No, and I got all the love for Cody, but like I said, it's just
Yeah, I'm about to say the same thing for Bobby though.
But well, the thing about Bobby at number 5, I'm super happy for Bobby. He's getting, he's getting his love. He's getting his recognition. So definitely top 10 for Bobby, but he is at number 5.
Yeah, this is where I think Brian should be.
Okay.
I agree. I think the top 3 could be shuffled, and I agree with number 1, obviously. But I think this is where Brian should be. Lashley should be where Brian was, like 6, 7. But yeah, I'm not mad at it. I mean,
yeah,
Lashley, he was in the game for a while, got out, came back. He's tried to shake off like a bunch of bland and kind of boring. He's not that great on the mic, but he's a lot better now. And this new Bobby is more interesting, more fun to watch.
You can tell he's put in work.
Yeah, a little more charismatic. What was the little faction there they had for a while with
Hurt Business?
Hurt Business.
Yeah,
that was awesome. That should have ran longer than it did.
I feel like it should still be a thing.
Yeah. They had
They were
something
gold.
there. I felt like, yeah. So, but good for Bobby though, for sure.
Number 4, Hangman Adam Page.
I like it. He was the first kind of homegrown guy that in AEW that put a lot of investment into him. They had this storyline of him drinking. It was a slow burn all the way back to the top. This was a great story. He's not the greatest wrestler in the world, but he got over. We all got behind it. We all like to see it. And it's crazy to see.
Emotional win over Omega for the title.
Yeah. Like I said, slow burn build. I agree with this at number 4. Good for him too.
Number 3, CM Punk.
Yeah, I mean the biggest comeback of the last long time. Like
exactly.
You can't argue with that. Like
it's not gonna.
No.
I mean, obviously he's
money
talk dollars and cents.
Yeah, and what you just said, butts and seats again. Like
they filled that
move.
arena on a rumor.
Sure.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah.
Ball tickets fast. Yeah. Gone.
Number 2, which is no surprise, Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah, this guy's global, man.
We got a little bit of taste of him during Forbidden Door.
Sure, and I wish we could get more really on USA TV. I mean, you got to go New Japan Pro Wrestling World really to watch him, or they show some stuff on Access TV, which I think is only on DirecTV now. But awesome matches. He gets over everywhere. Great gimmick. I feel like every time I watch him wrestle, it's at least 45 minutes. He's had great storylines, feuds with everybody. He's constantly in the top 3.
Yeah.
He probably should never leave, really. Until
he just rotates in 3.
Yeah.
And of course, number 1, well-deserved. He's worked his butt off, and obviously it's none other than
Acknowledge me.
PWI acknowledged the tribal chief at number 1, Roman Reigns.
Yeah, this is you can't miss this one. This is obvious one here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's no toss-ups this year. He was number 1.
Even MJF sent out a tweet that said they hit the nail on the head with number 1.
Yeah, they did. Do you have the whole list in front of you? Do you?
I don't have the whole list in front of me. I just wrote down the top 10. I do know the 500 was released though.
It was released. Okay, I didn't never see where my boy Jay White was. Where I thought he would be. He's probably in top 20, but I didn't see.
More than likely.
Yeah, gotta be.
And last bit of headlines here for September 14th. Those of you that were fast forwarding, you can now come back. WWE has announced the hiring of, which is this an interesting move here. WWE announced the hiring of former Las Vegas Raiders president Dan Ventrell into the role of EVP of Talent. In his role of EVP of Talent, Ventrell will oversee WWE's talent department and report to Chief Content Officer Paul 3H's Levesque.
Is he like one of Paul's friends or something? He like inside guys or something?
I have no idea. I know that, it was a whole thing with, him being let go of the Raiders a little while ago, but
right.
So it's interesting. It's also weird, if you're to be, I'm not saying it's a demotion or anything. Yeah, okay, it's a demotion. He was the president of a football team, and now he's just like an EVP of talent in a wrestling company. Not in WWE, don't get me wrong, but
Sure.
I feel like it's just a little bit lower tier than he was, but maybe that's what he had to do, to get a job.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's probably good on his resume for handling all the responsibilities that comes with,
Yeah.
doing
So-
that, I guess. But yeah, always love it when the top 500 comes out, because then you get to see all the wrestlers' social media post all day, being happy about making it, and and posting their number and where they were up from last time or where they were up down from last time. Our girl Billy Starks was in the 240s, I think.
Oh,
Something
really?
like that. Yeah.
Wow.
She's crushing it. Former
That's awesome.
guest on the pod. Yep. A lot of people on the pod made the list that were current, but yeah, it was it's cool to read that. So always fun. That I'm glad that they still do that too. It's kind of something it's been around for quite a while. So all right, welcome to the show.
Yep.
I am the Dirty Bird. It's time to talk about what we're going to talk about. We got another great night was had last Saturday at Iron Spirit Pro, and I'm going to fill you all in on everything that went on that there shortly. We're going to talk about all the happenings worthy of knowing in AEW, WWE, and Impact Wrestling. Primo is going to bring us another edition of his personal picks for Promo School as a surprise. And lastly, we're going to drop the great conversation that we had with Chicago-based independent wrestler Missa Kate. You heard her at the off the top of the broadcast. Just an awesome interview. You're going to love some of the questions that we had for her, and really some of her answers here. So it was cool. It was cool to have her on. Really appreciate having her on. Primo, if you're ready, man, let's talk some wrestling, have some fun. Kick it off, dude, but give me that Mortal Kombat before we go. I love that shit.
Let's say DB loves that shit.
This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins.
This is Big Beef.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, and you're listening.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
Okay, so last Saturday, AJ not here. Maybe he'll come in while I'm talking about it, hopefully. But if not, last Saturday we had a big show in Normal, Illinois. It was at a place called the Connie Link Amphitheater, which is a small little like amphitheater in Normal, Illinois. It's kind of a small little kind of budget-friendly type amphitheater. So you imagine like a big amphitheater that you go to. Imagine that like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, like the laser like shoots it like, and
Yeah, right.
yeah. So we put a wrestling ring on that small amphitheater. And I tell you what, man, for me, like, it's a long day of work, but it's a lot of gratitude in doing it too. And one of the cool things with me is when we do new venues, it's kind of like the backdrop, how it's going to look, that kind of stuff. We were a little apprehensive because there was a big, on both sides of the ring, there was concrete walls, and then on the backside was a big garage door, right, that we brought down once the show was about to start. So really all the wrestlers had to do was wrestle to that one. All the fans were in the front. It was a bring a chair, bring a blanket, sit on the lawn type event. Turned out really awesome, man. We had close to like 250 people there. We were super stoked. It ended up being a really nice, beautiful night for it. But one of the coolest backdrops I've ever seen. The guys didn't really have much room to work on, outside the ring. So a few of them still did anyway, but because there just wasn't a whole lot of room, because our ring basically took up that whole platform. But it was really cool. Go check it out. IronSpiritPro.com, Iron Spirit Pro on Twitter. You'll see some of the pictures that was posted. And then once the nighttime fell, it was really cool with when they turned the house lights on in the back, so it was really cool, really, really cool backdrop and atmosphere, I guess, for wrestling, that when you kind of looked at, we were kind of like, but
How are they going to work it out?
like how they're going to work it out, yeah. But the ring fit in there good and snug. It was fine. The guys just didn't have much room to work outside. So when they wanted to, they would just drag them outside to the lawn and just do their thing out there. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah, it worked. It was right in front of the crowd, the action. The kids were loving it, and I can honestly say that we've seen a lot of the faces that we've seen from the Sweet Corn Circus.
Mm-hmm.
And we really advertised this show a lot in Normal. We didn't do it so much in Bloomington, maybe a little bit, but to kind of really home in on the home crowd in Normal. And I would say probably 75% of this crowd we've never even seen before, which was really cool because we were excited about that. There was a lot going on in town that night. The kids had just came back to school at Illinois State University. Normal is college town. So all these bars are throwing these welcome back Hoodinks and First Redbirds, which is a local football team, Illinois State, their home game. So anyway, there's a ton of stuff going on. So we were really worried that we weren't going to get that good of a turnout, but it ended up turning out really good. Absolute awesome card. Orion Starlight and Hartenbauer put on a heck of a show. They were really, it was a really awesome match. Bucky Collins and Storm Grayson probably stole the night. Bucky by himself probably stole the night. Just being Bucky, selling, all that kind of stuff. And so just Bucky being Bucky. And it was great, man. The crowd seemed very pleased. The tag team matches were hot. 815 did their thing. It was really great. The Bang Brothers, don't Google that. They were there and put it on,
the Bang Bros
put on an awesome show in their match too. So, got some things coming up on the horizon. Not allowed to talk about yet, but some cool stuff coming. It was a great night of wrestling, but it all came down to the end of the night. Brew Baker, he defended his title against Travis Titan. After the match, local guy CJ Esparza has been on a little bit of a win streak. He is best friends with Brew Baker. Brew Baker is the reigning almost 2-year champion, I think it is. So our next show, October 29th, these two guys are going to get it on. Two best friends are going to collide over the gold. Yeah. Which is possibly, we were talking about today, this has got to be the biggest main event in Bloomington, Normal, Illinois wrestling history right here. Like, this is big.
Flash.
Yeah. Like you asked who they asked, like, who are the wrestlers from Illinois, right? Everybody says, oh yeah, such from Chicago, some from Chicago. Brew Baker's from Illinois, CJ Esparza's from Bloomington, Brew Baker's from Bloomington. You know what I mean? So, these guys their two names are locked in, synonymous. So it's going to be a heck of a main event. CJ's hungry. Brew Baker's had the title for a while. They locked up for a second, and then Brew Baker retreated at the end of the night. So, but yeah, like I said, the night, it turned out to be a perfect night. October 29th is our next show. We're back indoors, back at Normal again, and that's going to be your main event for that cards. And we're still putting the rest of the card together, but it was super cool to do a show like that somewhere different, and it was cool to see a bunch of different people we've never seen before. So we're expecting a really big card, really big crowd to come for this October show. So
how was the weather?
It was great, man. 75 probably.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean? So yeah, we've had some decent nights here, and it's actually warming up lately, or warming up a little more coming up in a few days. But yeah, it's been some nice 70s, but it was perfect, man. Except, setting up was very sweaty because, okay, so you imagine these amphitheaters, right? They always have these like awnings. Well, it halfway covered the ring. So you were on halfway on the side of the ring where the sun was. You were sweating. It was just awful.
Just beating down on you.
Yeah, the other side, perfect shade, no problem. It was nice. And then half of the canvas was hot, but yeah, it was. Yeah. Yes, it was nice, man. Good night of wrestling. Excited for the next show coming up, and we'll talk about that more later. So, all right, Primo, let's move on here, man. Let's get started with these weekly recaps, sir.
Yeah, I'll hit you with some Impact.
All right.
So starting out Impact, we had first of all opening the show here, Aussie Open defeating Bullet Club in the opening matchup there.
Full life.
Yeah. And next up, speaking of Bullet Club, more of the Bullet Club there. Speaking of this.
Yeah, there it is. You got the shirt on.
Good Brothers were backstage, and they were confronted by none other than Motor City Machine Guns.
Yes, that'll be awesome.
And they were talking about how they've never actually faced off in a tag team match. And now, next week, for the first time ever, Motor City Machine Guns versus the Good Brothers. So that's going to happen.
Man, if you have a reason to watch, man, just tune in for that match. It's going to be
exactly.
Great. They're going to put on some cool shit.
Currently on her last rodeo,
Hardcore Country.
Mickie James defeats Rochelle Rose, so the rodeo lives on. She didn't lose.
Yeah.
Would that suck if she lost her first one? She's like, all right, I'm done.
All right, well, it was a quick tour there.
I said whenever I lose, I'm going home.
Okay, so let me say something real quick, Primo, if you don't mind. So Jay White was 23rd in the PWI 500, and Moose at 21 was ahead of him.
Yes,
I'm not arguing with Jericho, but man, that's some overseas bias. That is.
Yeah, well, you didn't. Yeah, listen to who was a little
Hammerstone.
Yeah. Where was that at?
AC Mack. That has got to be like the highest at 25. AC Mack's at 25.
Yeah, wow. And then you have 11 through 20 here, which when how crazy is it? You have Matt Cardona. Who would have thought? Okay, that you would have Matt Cardona above Chris Jericho, Seth Rollins, Adam Cole, Kenny Omega. All these people, but dude's on fire. So I mean,
yeah. But that might be the highest ranking for an independent wrestler ever. I don't think AC Mack signed by any type of big promotion or nothing. No, I mean he is, as the independent wrestling champion, he like tore it up and yeah. Wow, that kind of blows my mind. Like he's ahead of Braun Breaker, for God's sake.
I mean,
or Will Ospreay, like that's even more of a.
I mean, dude, I didn't even think about this, but Sammy Guevara is number 28, so I'm not sure about that, but
they got their reasons, I guess.
But Braun Breaker, he broke the top 50 in his rookie year.
Sure.
At number 26, that's wild.
It's respect, I guess.
That's wild.
All right.
Literally,
that just kind of blew my mind there. Yeah,
because NXT 2.0, this was their 1 year anniversary show. So
it was, yeah.
So anyway, Mickie James Rodeo lives on. She didn't lose. Moving on, we had Brian Myers retained his Impact Digital Media Championship against Bhupinder Gujjar he retained it with DQ. Some shady tactics. And afterwards, Scott D'Amore made the announcement they'll face off again in 2 weeks. In a ladder match.
Yep.
So, and that was really it for Impact.
Need more Sammy on there, dude. Good Lord.
He was there, but he didn't wrestle.
Yeah, he just talked.
Yeah. So, that's all I got for Impact. You want me to wait for NXT till you do the other two shows?
Yeah, I'll jump on SmackDown here and we'll go through that.
Smackity down?
Yes, sir. Smackity Down was in my favorite city in the world. I don't know if I ever told you this or not, but man,
Austin, Texas.
I love me some Seattle, Washington. That's where I want to.
Oh, you have told me that.
I want to stay there and kick up and retire if life leads me in that direction where I live long enough to ride off into the sunset. You'll find me kicking up, on the water somewhere in Seattle. But so. Yeah, you're welcome for that. Nobody cares. All right, so SmackDown, we got Solo Sikoa. Officially joining the bloodline.
That's right. You know why?
Why? Tell us why.
Because you're the tools and we the once.
What I think is funny about that is Rikishi tweeted out, he's like, "Oh yeah, so proud of my sons, all three of my sons, Solo Sikoa sitting front and center there, like where he belongs."
Yeah.
And what did Sammy say? Sammy retweeted it. He's like, it's almost like you got 4 sons.
Almost like 4 actually, or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. That's great, man. I'm loving his interaction in this whole thing. So it's funny you say that because I was just about to say, okay, so you remember last week when what was it? Sammy pushed Roman out of the way and took
Yeah.
the
Fucking. I know I'm losing it too.
Drew McIntyre's finisher.
kick. Yep.
Yeah.
Claymore kick.
Claymore kick. Thank you. Yes. So he took it for him. Okay. So on this night, Solo's a little skeptical of Sammy as Jay is. Jay's like kind of not really liking.
It
Sammy
cracks me up that his
hanging
only
out.
confidant is Jimmy. They have a secret
Right.
handshake and everything.
Yes. Yeah. Jimmy's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Like he's the only one letting him in. All right. So to this night, Sammy would push Solo out of the way and take a chair shot for Sikoa from Drew McIntyre, who interfered, in the match. So, and then, they show a little bit later backstage, Solo's like, hey man, see what you did out there for me. Appreciate it. Yada, yada, you down with me. So it's like Sammy's being goofy and funny in the background, but he's taking these licks to
man.
show that he wants to be in the bloodline. Obviously he's, not technically, but
Yeah, he's an honorary Uce. He's not even a real Uce.
yeah, he's like the comedy
Yeah.
spot.
I love it.
It's great.
He's doing so good.
It's so, man, it's just Broadway worthy,
gold.
man. He's great. Yeah. And a lot of times too, like I think like his vocabulary is just so dense that he pulls it off, like just the way he just talks about everything.
Yeah, and then it makes me crack up even more that like Jay is just playing it up that like he just isn't with it at all. He's like,
Right.
no, fuck you, dude. Like, why are you here?
Yeah. He's like the big brother, that don't like the new kid in town kind of deal
Yeah.
or something, So next up I got Ronda. She won the number 1 contenders match, Ronda Rousey, pronouns pal. So she's going to face Liv at Extreme Rules, yada yada. They show Liv holding up the belt, outside in looks like she's in a suite or a box or something like that, and so they like face off. But I didn't want to see this again. Like, can we not move on? Can she not? Why does she got to keep? Obviously. Go ahead.
I was just say she's gonna beat Ronda. They're gonna let her beat her legit in an Extreme Rules match.
Yeah, and 2, I think her and Shayna are about to go rogue. You know what I mean? Like they're just gonna start beating everybody's asses, I think, or something like that. So
That'd be kind of cool.
I think they gotta, do something else to like kick it off, to start the whole fire, and to something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe another loss for Ronda against Liv would kind of really piss her off.
I like Shayna, so that'd be really neat. Ronda can be Shayna's Diesel.
You know what's awful about this match? Fucking Sonya Deville.
It was a 5-way match, wasn't it?
She didn't even hardly sell in this match at all. Like even all the way up to taking the the tap out. Like it was piss poor. Like she was ready to get out of there. Like she had dinner, was trying to get home before it got. You know what I mean? Like yeah. Like she just didn't like it, and I just like noticeably noticed. Usually I don't notice, but when they're doing these impact moves and stuff, and she's not really kind of selling it at all. It's kind of so kind of shits on the match. But anyway. But the reason why I was talking about that is because they show Ronda and Shayna once again having these talks in the background, as if they're going to form a tag team, or at least a faction, or maybe at least a tag team. They're talking about, hey, we can do this thing if we take over. It's basically what Ronda's pitching to Shayna. Now Shayna's kind of chirping back a little bit, like, a little bit of pumping Ronda up too, kind of. So,
I mean, they're girls.
Yeah.
They're homies.
I'll tell you this though. Put the titles on those girls. It gives the titles legit clout.
But the tag titles.
Yes, tag titles.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, put the women's tag titles on those girls.
Shit.
Let them hold it for over a year.
Who would beat them? Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Just have them wreck shop.
Yeah. Just kill.
Like
Just fucking
not
kill.
even like 2-minute matches. They go out there and they whoop ass. Like they are
Yeah.
because they're both legitimate fighters. I mean,
Sure.
so is Sonya, but nobody ever talks about that.
Yeah, just let them wreck shop as tag champs for a while. You know what I mean? So until, maybe like an old tag team can come back or something like that, and they can beat off a couple of them too or something. Like Undertaker's Lay Cool,
Yeah.
like somebody like that. Lay Cool.
Lay Cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I was trying to think like a women's
Michelle
tag team,
McCool
right?
and
Yeah.
Layla.
Yeah.
Lay
Or-
Cool.
Or the Iconics. Let them buzz off the
Iconics.
Iconics.
Man.
Something like that one night or something.
That'd be a good one to come back as the Iconics.
Yeah, get some heat. You know what I mean? Get some heat. So
Yeah. What other besides the Iconics, Lay Cool, the Bellas, what other noteworthy women's tag teams have there been?
see, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to run through my brain real quick. Is honest two women's that just focus just on tag teams. All right, here we go. Late run in on the man. All about town. Here he is, the rock star himself, AJ. Welcome, brother. We're talking WWE SmackDown. Yeah.
Hey, y'all. Can somebody call my mama? It's about to get funky up in here.
You're the Funkasaurus.
Someone
now,
needs
AJ?
to call my mama. That's my new. But seriously, someone call my mama. She's missing right now.
That's not good. Like shoot missing?
Yeah, she's fine. I believe she's making chicken right now.
I like how we always distinguish real and joking as
I was
shoot.
gonna say, we toe the line.
Yeah, shoot.
Also, have you guys noticed that when I watch movies, I'm like, oh, who's the heel? Like who's the face? It's like no, idiot,
right,
hero,
yeah,
and villain.
yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
I know, right? Yeah, yep. I'll say that too a lot. Like I'll say, being such a face, to my
Right.
wife. Yeah, or I'm like talking about my kid tearing up the house. I'm like, he's such a heel, man. I'm like, God.
Speaking of heels, I'm raising one. So my son has been growing out his hair, and it's gotten quite long now. And the other day, he revealed to me that he wants to be Shaggy for Halloween.
Nice.
And the first thing that comes out of my 7-year-old daughter's mouth is, "Well, me, mom, and dad should be villains."
That's right. And y'all can go. They can go. He can go running, chasing through you guys in the neighborhood
Right.
like the old cartoons used to be.
Right.
They were all
Running in and out of doors.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. All right. Welcome to the pod, AJ. Glad to have you, brother.
Thank you.
All right.
Glad that I could make it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's jump back into SmackDown. All right. So Braun Strowman comes out. He's got new music. You guys hear it?
He doesn't growl anymore.
It's a little different now. It's
Smooth jazz.
somewhat similar iteration, kind of, but I think it's better, and I think it works this time. But anyway, he comes out and destroys Gable and Otis. But this was I'll give him credit. He didn't trip, nothing botched. This one was done right. He looked good. He did the powerbomb on Otis, which was dope. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I think they done this one right.
I don't think there's anybody else in WWE right now that can do that to Otis.
No. Period.
I don't even think, because you got to have the size and the strength.
Sure. I mean, and Braun is only the tire short of being a Mack truck, so.
That's right.
What do you guys think of his
He's
red
just a
pants?
Peterbilt.
He's Peterbilt. What do you guys think of Braun's red pants?
I think they shouldn't have slits in them. I feel like they shouldn't be cut. They look too Hardy-ish that way. Hardy boyish.
He's going to start wearing kicker pants?
Yeah,
We go wear some Jinkos
with spats on his boots.
He needs to be wearing some Zubaz.
It comes out next week. Oh, that'd be cool. It
Some
comes out
Zubaz.
next week. He's wearing fishnets.
yeah.
Like Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Like
giant
slits all
ass
the way to the
man.
sides.
Yeah.
We're just re-gimmicking him, aren't we?
Might as well.
Might as well give him nipple straps.
Right.
Braun the
Oh.
Barber Beefcake.
So main event of SmackDown was Solo Sikoa, the debut, versus Drew McIntyre. The Bloodline gets involved. The Profits help out. Karrion Kross attacks Drew. And once that happens, the screen goes black and white. Got a new little gimmick going on to his thing.
He's late NWO member.
Yep.
Yes.
He puts Drew in the cross jacket, which is basically just a chokehold, and he goes to sleep as the show goes off and the screen stays. It they were like talking about, oh, Drew he's passing out, he's passing out. So the screen kind of faded off as if you were
I'm also passing out.
As you were also passing out, like your sense of reality faded to black, and you're like, you know, and then an Arby's commercial comes on.
Oh shit, that would wake me up. Hell yeah.
Illusion.
Yes. So
Did not make me want Arby's. And it's funny that you mentioned like the NWO, because like that's exactly what I thought. Like when I went to black and white, immediately I was like, waka waka, hey, hey.
New world order.
Oh, I hate it so much. For life, it's the worst theme
That's
music.
Second for life reference tonight already.
It is.
I'm sorry that I missed the first one.
He's got the Bullet Club shirt on. We were talking about.
Oh, that's what it was, because we were talking about PWI 500.
All right, so let's hop over to Raw, which was in Portland, Oregon. We got Matt Riddle, Seth Rollins, both continuing their feud. Even though Seth is basically doing the storyline that he's not giving Matt a rematch, they're probably going to wrestle again. Yeah. But he's like, sneaky attacking Seth, or excuse me, Matt in the back, like doing little dirty stuff like that. But so they're continuing their little feud. So Dakota Kai and Io Sky win the women's tag team titles that we were just talking about from Aaliyah and Raquel, who held them for 2 weeks.
Hey, that's fine. I've seen shorter title runs.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
But what was the point of putting on them in the first place?
They realized their mistake.
Ah, okay, that's fair.
Or is Triple H? Are we right around a couple weeks now? He's been in charge longer than 2 weeks, hasn't he?
Now. Oh yeah, he's been in charge for like a month.
I gotta give credit real quick to our buddy Mr. MWO Mike Thunder over there on Twitter. Go read his
MWO.
Go read his Twitter bio. I think it was his Twitter bio. He said that they should be named Kai and Sky, like Kai and Tai.
Very good.
Choppy.
Yeah, so they won the tag team titles. So, as we thought should have won the tournament in the beginning, us all three agreed on that. So,
yeah.
So eventually got the titles over to them. So, yay for them. Dominic cuts a promo that basically Rey Mysterio sucked as a dad. He's basically a man now on his own. Rey then shows up and begs him not to fight Edge. Dominic won't look at him. Edge and Rey Mysterio are buddies.
It was cracking me up.
Yeah.
Because he said, "Oh, you're not even gonna look at me now?" And the whole time I'm thinking, like, man, if that was like my mom sitting there doing that to me, I would be laughing so hard. I wouldn't be able to keep a straight face.
Right.
Just laughing in her face when she's trying to reprimand you.
Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, I saw a fun statistic is that Dominic Mysterio is the same age as Rey Mysterio was when they had their whole little custody battle with Eddie Guerrero. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Wow.
Shows how much. Yeah. How weird is that?
Yeah.
Thinking in terms of like their careers. Like Rey Mysterio was already like a legend at that point, and Dominic Mysterio is Dominic Mysterio.
Son of Rey Mysterio. I honestly think he should drop Mysterio.
Just be Dominic?
Or something. But we're always going to know he's Dominic Mysterio, but he's always going to be Ray's son.
What's their actual last names?
It's Oscar. Fuck, man. I just watched the Rey Mysterio thing too.
Oscar Gutierrez.
That's what it is.
See, Dominic Gutierrez. There you go.
There you go.
Dami G.
Old Dami G. See, it's perfect.
Johnny Gargano wins. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say Dami G. He can join the Don on NXT.
No, he cannot.
Johnny Gargano won his debut match versus Gable, and then he gets ambushed by Austin Theory, who then gets KO,
There you go.
But then he and KO end up in a big brawl after that. So I'm kind of excited for this feud. I think it's going to be pretty hot.
After KO verbally hands him his ass.
Yeah. He ripped him on the mic. Yeah,
because KO is KO.
I've seen Petey Williams tonight. I didn't know he was with WWE. He's like one of the backstage guys in the suits. Did you see him?
I honestly didn't either.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, that's Petey, the Canadian Destroyer.
He's got a Canadian Destroyer, everybody.
Yeah.
Good for Petey.
Yeah.
That just cracks me up because I always look for Jamie Noble.
Yeah. He's always hiding back there. Wait, didn't he get fired?
Security.
Yes. Yeah. Jamie Noble had one arm of somebody, and
he was here.
Petey had the other one.
Yeah.
Petey was so good. I love Petey.
All right, so before we get to the main event, boys, I'm going to drop a little bomb on you. I know it might not be very popular, but, man, Bayley sucks right now.
Did you see the
she
sign
sucks
in the
on the mic. She sucks on the mic. She sounds like an angry witch. Like, she's just, meh, 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 meh. Like, I don't know. Are we going to, like, put a title on her? Like, I don't know. I don't, maybe it's the gimmick. Maybe I'm not liking the gimmick. I mean, I definitely don't like the outfit. But
yeah, no.
I don't know. I don't like. I just think I don't know. It just ain't working for me.
Well, yeah, I'm a fan of Bayley.
Right.
As am
I.
Cosmetically.
Yes.
No, I mean overall.
Sure.
But honestly, right now I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Right now I'm kind of bored with it. Right now, hopefully something picks up.
Yeah.
I will also agree with that. Like, it's not what I expected when she came back. Like, I expected it to be more
bigger deal. That's why they shouldn't have brought her back in that damn daytime SummerSlam.
It's like the two things you hate, like Johnny Gargano and daytime wrestling. The strangest two things to hate.
You know what made me
and lima beans.
And lima beans.
You know what made me laugh was during Bianca Belair's promo. My Mrs. Primo had just gotten home, and she could hear it in the background, and she was just like mocking Bianca Belair because she sounded so silly.
She's awful.
Yeah,
Bianca Belair.
And that's exactly what I said. I said AJ hates her.
I do.
That's what I told my wife.
Which is correct. She's terrible.
Sure.
She reminds me of Alicia Fox on the mic. Like, she's just.
I like
bad.
Alicia Fox. I really like Alicia Fox.
So main event on Raw was Dominic versus Edge. This is apparently Edge's send-off for a little while because, of course, Rey Mysterio and then Judgment Day gets involved. Judgment Day, gives Edge a pretty good knee and ass whipping, basically. So, and so beats him up pretty good with the chair. So it's going to be his send-off for a little while to take a little break.
Yep.
To give Judgment Day a little steam because that way they can say they ran off Edge. He'll make another big return later. Probably Mania.
I have a confession.
Rumble.
Yeah, I do. I have a confession.
Okay. Go on.
Even before this Raw, I've come around to Judgment Day. Actually, I like them again. And more specifically, I've really been liking Damian Priest.
Yeah,
Damian Priest. He's not bad.
Yeah.
No. I like him better now than I did as Punishment Martinez, and that might be a little controversial to some people, but
I like him better now than when he was the fucking Archer of Tomorrow or whatever the fuck that
Infamy of
Archer of Infamy.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
What the fuck does that even mean?
That entrance was cool though.
Correct, yeah, because he would shoot the screen.
Yeah,
he still does that sometimes, but I would also crack me up in the main event or whenever the Judgment Day ran in. Finn had the purple bandana on his head.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
purple and black squad.
But yeah,
now.
I'm liking Judgment Day again.
You think it's maybe a little bit too because Rhea's kind of
yeah. Yo, I'm a big fan of the fact that
absolutely. She's kind of overtake. She's over like Judgment Day is Rhea Ripley. Like I'm loving her there.
Yeah, that's true. Because when it was just Finn and Damian, I was still kind of bored with them.
Yeah.
Like it would have been cool if Edge was still like. I get that they needed a face and fast, but still.
Plus, I like too. I would say plus I like too the Rhea being like the leader. And I want see Finn and Damian now go after the tag titles. I'd be cool with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd be all right with that.
Just like sends her dogs.
Yeah. I like that.
That's cool. And then she's got her little puppet now.
Yeah, I like the little dichotomy, or not dichotomy, the little thing they got going on with Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's all I got for Raw there, boys. Let's move on to AEW here, AJ.
NXT.
Oh yeah, NXT. NXT.
We did it out of order, so it's not his fault.
How dare
NXT 2.0. It was actually the 1-year anniversary of NXT 2.0. We started off the show with Tag Team Championship Steel Cage match with Pretty Deadly retaining over Creed Brothers.
Yes, boy.
Yeah, first of all, I like Pretty Deadly, so I'm happy about that. And secondly, I don't care for the Creed Brothers a whole lot. They're athletes, and that is where I stop at giving them credit right now.
I think Miles would be a pretty good singles competitor because I think he's might be
the
pretty
taller
decent
one
on the mic. Yeah,
yeah.
It's Miles and Julius and Brutus.
Yeah.
Julius and Brutus. Brutus is the shorter, stockier one.
Brutus, yeah.
Yeah. He's like an Otis type. It's like heavy machinery over kind of.
So throughout the show, we talked about this earlier pre-show. Throughout the show, they played a year in review video package, which actually, looking back, we dogged on NXT 2.0 quite a bit, but they did up this video. Nobody does video packages better than WWE, and they reminded us there were actually quite a few good moments over the last year.
Yeah, there were a few.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was still old NXT, though, we would not be able to list all the good, cool moments
that would be a 1-year anniversary of NXT 2.0.
It's fine, I guess. I still don't because I loved old NXT so much that it's hard for me to get behind 2.0.
So, next up, you had Cameron Grimes. He was supposed to face Tony D'Angelo, and I forgot what his name is. 2-Bit Tony or the other guy.
Tony
Mamaluke. Sorry, I was too busy trying to remember his entrance name.
Who was Tony Mamaluke? That was an ECW guy, right?
Yeah, he's part of FBI, right?
That's right. Okay, sorry.
Full-blood Italians.
Anyway, Cameron Grimes, he chose to face the Don and his guy by himself, but later on in the matchup, Joe Gacy and the Dyad come out. Joe Gacy forcibly tags himself in and helps to get the victory. Afterwards, Cameron Grimes once again refuses to join Gacy, and the Dyad attacked him from behind. Throughout the night, NXT North American Championship match looked to
He's
be...
joining again. You think so?
Yeah, it looked to be called off due to Carmelo and Trick Williams attacking the challenger Wesley backstage until Carmelo came out to the ring for the main event to defend his North American Championship against nobody, which he thought. But out came the newest member of the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa. He arrived and told Carmelo, he said, I already told you, I got next. So then NXT, and I put this right away, the NXT crowd was more behind Solo than they've ever been behind him.
They were, yeah.
So him joining the Bloodline was really good for him. Solo hit Carmelo with a big-ass rock bottom. Like, it was cool. He did this, rock bottom where he lifted Carmelo up, so high and slammed his ass. Yeah. And then he did a splash from the top rope. And we have a new NXT North American Champion. More gold for the Bloodline. Sami Zayn is still the only one without gold.
I disagree with this 100%. I'm at the point now where I'm like, okay, quit it. Like
I love it.
I do not.
I told you I want him to get Tamina.
I selfishly
get
love
Tamina.
it. Yeah,
I want him to get Tamina.
I 100% love it. And
Why
I
was they keep doing? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was wondering what they were gonna, which belt they were. I knew they were gonna give him a belt. I just didn't know which one they were gonna give him, and it makes sense. You know.
See, I thought for sure they'd give him the IC belt.
Well, if he's going to stay down on NXT,
he's representing.
He'll be in the Bloodline too. You know what I mean? He has to have an NXT belt, I think.
I mean, you know, yeah, because he even raised the finger at the end.
Sure did, yeah.
With the championship.
Cause you're the twos and we the ones.
I want Sami Zayn to win the 24/7 title.
It's gone now.
It is gone, isn't it? Yeah, they retired it. Yeah.
No more.
Bring back the European Championship.
Yeah. They just got rid of it, but bring it back already.
And they got rid of it like in early 2000s, right? They merged it with the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What one am I thinking of? Oh, I'm thinking of the
Cruiserweight.
Yeah, no, yeah.
They did just get rid of the Cruiserweight.
That was
at the very end of the show, this might come as a pleasant surprise to you, AJ. At the very end of the show, on this 1-year anniversary special, there was a special message from the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, ending with, at the end of the message, saying, "We are NXT," with a new logo unveiled, white and gold.
Thank God.
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it.
Like they basically unveiling a new era of NXT.
Thank God.
I love that our childhood heroes are running today's wrestling. It's kind of
every time I see it, I'm like, DX really took over the company.
Yeah, DX took over. Yeah. it took a while, but they got there.
but they did it.
Sure did. Love it.
And that's NXT. It was actually a pretty good episode.
It was. Yeah, I enjoyed that mashup video from last year. Yeah, it was cool stuff. You ready, AJ? AEW?
I guess.
Let's
I mean, there's one or two things happening in AEW right now. So first,
fights.
Yeah. First, I want to talk about the aftermath. So essentially, there's going to be a tournament because, of course, there's going to be a tournament.
Yeah. Vacated belts everywhere.
Yep. All the belts are vacated. All of them. There's an interim world champion for the women. The trios belts are vacated. Championship belts get vacated. Like, everything's vacated.
Nobody's a true champ right now except for like the ROH guys.
Yeah, which funny you should mention. But first we have MJF's promo to start the show, which was fantastic because
so good.
He was like being like super face, but it was so insincere. Like only MJF can do that. Right. And then Jon Moxley comes out and cuts another promo as well, putting over Bryan Danielson a lot, which makes me think that Bryan Danielson is it's going to be Moxley versus Danielson for the belt, which will be cool.
I think Moxley gets tripped up by Guevara.
I fucking hope not.
I think Guevara gets to the end. I think, yeah. And then everybody will be totally on Bryan's side.
I hope so.
That's what I'm calling. But yeah, I think the belt's going on Bryan for sure.
So we have the new Trios Championship, which is Death Triangle. They beat Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. And which is funny, because we were talking at the Iron Spirit show the other day about what our gimmicks would be, and I was like, honestly, mine would be Orange Cassidy, even though I do nothing but bitch about Orange Cassidy's gimmick. But it would totally be my gimmick, like whatever kind of shit. So, it was a decent match. Pac is fucking awesome. He's so underrated. And, yeah, your new Trios Championship, which these are the belts that I care least about, is Death Triangle, which is nice. And it makes the Pac the first two title holder at the same time.
Yeah.
In AEW history.
They kind of got me here. I kind of thought this would be a good title for the Best Friends to have. You know,
yeah.
Put it on some baby faces. So.
The only other thing I wanted to talk about on Dynamite, because, I mean, there was a women's championship match, but it's Toni Storm and Penelope Ford. I was like, yeah, whatever. And the TNT Championship was defended. Wardlow squashed the fuck out of Tony Nese.
Yep.
So the main match I wanted to talk about was Bryan Danielson and Hangman Page. And I wanted to talk about how the crowd was not with Hangman Page like at all. They were bored with him.
Think that's got anything to do with what's going on lately?
I think it might, but Page didn't really, he's not really the bad guy in this situation, like at all. But the crowd was just like not having any of them, which I was like, all right. I mean, I don't like Hangman Page, so
babyface run for him is definitely over.
Yeah.
But like when he was kind of mounting a comeback and, you know, he didn't have a whole lot of, you know, cheering fans with him. So, yeah.
So I like the result. Thought it was the right result. Bryan Danielson gets the win, moving on in the tournament. And then finally, we'll mention the ROH Pure Championship because it was a fantastic match. It was Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta. And this is the title that Daniel Garcia should have because the fact that he was ever in the sports entertainer thing, that's stupid. It's Daniel Garcia. Like, this is where he should, like, ROH Pure. So he beat Wheeler Yuta in a fantastic match. And that is all for Dynamite, unless you guys have anything.
Primo, you got anything?
No, I'm just excited that Death Triangle is Trios champions.
I mean, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Way back, whenever like I was raving about Death Triangle, way before they even talked about Trios champions, I was like, man, they'd be good Trios champions, and now it happened. So I'm excited.
You've been going on about the Trios champions.
I've never hated on
since we started. Yeah,
I like that. I know DB hates
it,
it, but I actually like Trios champions.
Yeah, I don't. Factions shouldn't have titles. I don't think. That's just, you know, we've talked about it before. Now, what I wanted to say was all the WWE references that MJF had in his little banter there was like, it seems like it's just getting more and more and more. You know, he's just using so many WWE references in his, you know, and it's playing out to Twitter, you know, like we talked about and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of wild. The other thing was, so they sent Jon Moxley out, right, to cut a promo and kind of, you know, reestablish the clout and meaning of the AEW title, you know, that kind of stuff when he came out. Man, like, and you guys know, you know, I give respect where it's due. This turned into a pretty awesome promo, right?
Fuck yeah, because Moxley's awesome.
This was, yeah, it was great, man. It was like a heart and soul grit type of promo. Like, you could tell it come from the heart, right? But
yeah,
another thing too is I hate when these kind of moments are happening. You know, just let them happen. Like people like Excalibur and Taz, like, oh, he's giving a great promo right now. You know, like, just let it fucking happen, dude.
Yeah,
like,
shut the fuck up.
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, quit jumping in there. Like, let it be it, and then talk about how great it was afterwards. Not like, we're witnessing one of the best promos ever right now. Like, that's not what it's about. We're supposed to be engulfed in listening to, you know, this guy cut this awesome promo. You're fucking ruining it for me, dude.
That is
small gripe.
No, that's a pet peeve of mine, actually.
Yeah.
I haven't mentioned it before, but for instance, like when Mickie James was giving her last rodeo promo last week or 2 weeks ago, like she's fucking talking and she's giving an emotional promo about her last ever run. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And the crowd's like, don't go! We love you, Mickie! And that's all you can hear. I'm like, you're not giving her any respect right now. Shut up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Like, please. You know, he used to do that all the time. It's the one bad thing that I'll say about this person is Bobby Heenan used to do that all the time. It used to drive me fucking nuts whenever he would do it.
Yeah. Small little jabs in there in the middle and stuff. So yeah.
It's like, shut up.
Yeah. That's all I got for Dynamite.
Okay, well, moving on to Rampage then, short and sweet. Rampage. Wow, we haven't called it that in a long time. God, I hate Sammy Guevara. He has just go away heat with me. I'll say it every week. His stupid face, I want to smack it.
If it makes you feel any better, he broke the top 30 in PWI's 500.
How?
At number
I
28.
don't understand how.
Sure did.
Wait, who was number one in that, by the way?
Who do you think was number 1?
Yes.
Roman. Who's number 2?
Absolutely. Okada. Well, we said no spoilers earlier, but yeah, Okada.
Okay.
I don't care. They would have looked it up by now.
Yeah, that's fine. Roman, yeah, that's cool.
If you're listening
Sammy
to this
Guevara.
podcast, you probably already looked it up.
I fucking hate Sammy Guevara. I'm not a fan. Like, his stupid goddamn face. Darby Allin should have won this match. I get why Sammy Guevara won, because they needed a heel to win, but Jesus Christ. Like, put someone else in this
He's
match.
a Spanish god, that's why.
Oh, fuck off. I cannot
Put
stand
some
him.
respect on it.
No,
You know what? You know what? He needs to come out wearing the panda head again.
I mean,
What's funny is I actually like Sammy. I still like him. I get that he's immature and shit, and I understand that side of it. But I do like to watch him wrestle.
He just seems like an arrogant little prick. And
Yeah.
Like,
He's got that punchable face, like
yes,
on 100, on the level of 100.
Yeah,
like
he has
the
a-
highest.
he
You know what I mean?
He has a dumb haircut.
Yeah,
Yep.
dumb haircut. You know, he's a
Like I
heel.
agree about all of that, but I just like watching him wrestle.
Like,
you know, I like spots, and he does spots. so.
Have you ever? No, his 100%. He's doing duck face. He's like a 12-year-old girl posing for an Instagram picture 100% of the time. Like, he's always like fucking stop. I'm gonna.
He's like Zoolander.
Blue
Steel?
Blue Steel. Yeah, that was my Blue Steel. I regret doing it. The other match I want to talk about during Rampage is Claudio Castagnoli versus Dax Harwood, because this match was awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Uncle
Dax.
It was a long match. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it went like 25 minutes, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, it was most of the show.
Yeah.
But Claudio's awesome. Dax is awesome. Dax has a good European uppercut. Like, he never uses it, so he should use that more. But Claudio, my boy, got the win. Love to see it.
I mean, he broke it out. He broke it out against the king of uppercuts.
Yes, he did. So it was a great match. Like, that would be the one match I would recommend actually going.
So in European countries, it's just called an uppercut?
It's just called an uppercut.
Yeah, it's an uppercut.
Just wanted to verify.
They don't do the American style.
No.
European, you just use the outside.
And you do maybe do a little spin.
Well, yeah. That's what makes it European. That little spin.
The twirl.
Yeah. So that's all I got for Rampage. Not a whole lot happened.
It's like a forearm shart.
Forearm shart.
Minoru Suzuki.
I'm bringing back all of the old.
You're pulling out all the old stuff.
All our old bits.
What I want to say is
let's
Samoa
get some
Joe
rowdy in here.
Samoa Joe looked a little heavy and a little old. I thought he looked.
He did. That's why I didn't want to mention.
He is both.
Yeah, he is. He is both.
He didn't look. I'll say this: he didn't look in like normal ring shape for Joe to me.
Yeah, I mean he's way less dates. I mean,
oh sure, yeah.
You know,
but,
and he's getting older. I mean,
still a boy nonetheless. And
oh yeah, he's absolutely a legend.
Maybe that's the way to do it though, so he doesn't get hurt. Less dates.
I was about to say age catches up with everybody.
Not me. I'm ageless.
That's what you're ageless.
Oh,
I see what you went for there.
Ageless.
It
didn't mesh.
I like the effort.
Yeah,
it didn't mesh.
I saw what you were going for.
I shall return. All right, boys, that's going to do it for the recap. Let's get to the dropkick discussion of the week. Back to September top fives. Let's do it. You know it.
DB loves that shit.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Havens, the Argyle assassin himself, giving them all the shivers.
This is the one and only Mike Hartenbauer.
This is Space Jesus Billy Starks.
This is referee Dan Perch.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw. You can address me as yours rudely. And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
You guys are listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
You're listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
Come celebrate pro wrestling right here on the Sit Down Marks podcast.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With Primo, DB, and AJ.
And you're listening to DB, Primo, AJ here on the Sit Down Marks podcast, the best podcast for professional wrestling.
Primo, you missed it earlier, man. I wanted to mention it real quick just because I heard Hartenbauer talk. How cool was it for you, man? You got to run the camera at Iron Spirit Pro last weekend, and you got to do Hartenbauer's match.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like being the cameraman. I need a lefty camera though. The whole righty camera is discriminatory.
I would say, are you natural lefty?
Not really, but I switch back and forth. But no, it was awesome. I loved doing the camera. I could have done that. I'll do that every show if I am so able. I'm just gonna do it all. I'm gonna do commentary.
I saw the snapshot of it. You looked.
I was gonna say
natural.
Hard to do commentary if you're carrying a camera.
He just has. He get like an old Britney Spears mic on his face.
Yeah, like a little tiny thing with like a little the little nubbin on the end.
Sure.
Just gonna do it all. No, it was awesome. I mean, you got to do 2 matches as well.
Yeah, that was fun. It was fun. Like I would do it again, but yeah, I just want to do it to see that show that I'd done it before. But yeah, it was really cool, man. It was nice.
I always felt like I was in the way, though. I tried to like slink like into the background, like it's because you're conscious of that kind of thing when you're standing in front of all those people.
I was gonna say another thing. I'm too tall for that job, probably.
Yeah, you take up more space than I do because I'm a gentleman's 5'9".
I was gonna say since you're so tall, you draw attention.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas I can sneak right in there.
So Dropkick discussion, boys. September we've been doing top 5s. Last week we talked our top 5 favorite champions at the moment. Well, this time we're gonna debate our top 5 singles without a title. So any single out there right now that's not holding any type of championship, we're going to talk about our top 5, starting with number 5. Primo, why don't you kick us off today?
You know what? I will kick us off today. So, top 5 favorite non-champions right now. For me, should come as no surprise, at number 5, Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks.
I like it. You can't argue with that top 5.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of hot.
He's great. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for him to hold a legitimate title. I'm so glad that he's got that FTW stuff behind him, so he can actually go do stuff.
That is an albatross, that FTF or FTW belt. It's just stupid. Like I would still put, like even if he still had the FTW belt, I would still consider him eligible for this list.
Like it's a pretend title,
Yeah, it's not a real title. Has invented it.
True. I don't disagree with that. Ricky did not make my top 5, but
nor mine.
So I'll kick us off next with my number 5. This guy, I think he's been the best seller in the game for like the past 10 years. My number 5 is Dolph Ziggler.
Ooh, he was my honorable.
Interesting.
Right there. Like I always feel like if Dolph was probably a little bit better on the mic, he would be a fucking megastar because he looks great. You know what I mean? He's tanned. He's a great seller.
Not Asian though.
He's not Asian. No,
he doesn't look as good as Ricky Steamboat, but
right,
he does.
No, but I love Dolph, man. They put him with people they need to get over. They put him with people that are kind of new, to the product. He makes everybody look good. I still think he's the best seller in the game. My number 5, Dolph Ziggler. AJ.
Are we doing honorable mentions now? We're going to wait until...
Yeah, go ahead. Throw them out there. What do you got?
So I have 2 honorable mentions. One is Sonya Deville. I think she's fantastic. I love Sonya Deville. I think she's fantastic. Like, I don't know why.
I just crapped on her about 15, 20 minutes
ago. He did.
Really? See, I think she's great.
Yes.
I love Sonya Deville. I think she deserves a title. My other honorable mention is Bucky Collins. And he wasn't on my list initially, and he's still not. He's an honorable mention. But he steals every goddamn show that he is on.
He stole ours last Saturday. I mentioned that earlier, too. Yeah.
He's outstanding. He steals every show. I think he needs some sort of belt. Someone throw a belt on him. But my number 5, and most of these are going to be no surprise to you. I'm surprised he's this low, is my boy, Finn Balor. Makes me feel bad. He's still awesome, even though he's into the Judgment Day now, and he's clearly mid-card and will be for the rest of his career probably in WWE. But he's just so good, and he's so charismatic, and he's so creative. You know, throw the tag belt on him. Do something with him.
Say Finn is the kind he's got such a reputation and already a legend in the business that he doesn't even need a title to be, you know. But yeah, I agree.
But he never had a proper run with the big strap.
I say he was the first ever Universal Champion for like a couple hours.
Yeah, for less than 24 hours. And then he had to vacate it.
Seth Hurley went to a buckle bomb, wasn't it?
Yeah, the outside buckle bomb. Yeah. So that's my number 5, Finn Balor.
Okay.
Number 4. Number 4 for Primo. Jon Moxley. He just became a non-champ.
This is true.
And he's just on fire. I mean, I love watching him. He's just freaking, we said it before, heart and soul of AEW. He's awesome.
Yeah.
I agree. Also didn't make my list, but I do agree.
Yeah. Didn't make mine. Not going to argue it. I mean, especially right now. I mean, you know, the guy was supposed to go on like a 6-week vacation. He's still burning dates.
Exactly.
You know, out there, like, you know, like it's, you know, you got to give props to him. My number 4 is one of my favorite wrestlers. Has been, you know, favorite for quite a long time. I think I had his shirt on last week. Kevin Owens at number 4. You know, always great on the mic. Great wrestler. Like I said, I've always loved Kevin. He looks like me. We got the bellies, baby. You know, so, you know, so, but yeah, I mean, I love Kevin's good TV, man, no matter what. You know what I mean? He's a good TV no matter what. And
he really is. Like, he doesn't miss.
Sure.
Like, ever. Like, any segment they put him in, they're just like, go do this. And he's like, all right, I'm going to turn it into gold because that's what I do.
Sure.
He's a lot like Chris Jericho.
The list with Jericho. I mean,
yeah. He reminds me a lot of Chris Jericho.
It's great,
for that
man.
exact reason.
Yeah. So I think a title is coming for him. Go ahead.
So my number 4 has been my favorite female wrestler for quite some time, pretty much since she debuted in NXT, and that's Asuka. Asuka's so good. Like, I love her so much. And even the fact that she doesn't speak English, her promos are still fantastic. Like, how is that even possible? She just yells, and it's amazing.
And dances and like rolls her tongue.
Is ready for Asuka.
She's great. You have a baby? That was my favorite when like Becky Lynch gave her the belt.
Becky gave her the belt. Yeah, that's right.
Baby?
Let's go with that.
But she's so good. She needs another title, like right now. Liv Morgan's not working out. So there you go. Give it to Asuka.
Top 3, Primo.
Top 3 for me. Number 3, sticking with AEW. For my first 3, actually, that I've done so far have all been AEW. This one as well. No surprise, Chris Jericho. I mean, that's a personal favorite. He'll make my top 5 every time.
Sure. I mean, he's possibly the greatest ever still on a roster right now.
Right.
I mean, yeah, he didn't make mine either just because, you know, I don't know. Like, I feel like he's like, even though he doesn't have a belt, he's just like one of those guys that's always like top tier. So I really honestly didn't really kind of think about him. So, you know, but I mean, he definitely should be on there. But instead, at number 3, I have one of my favorite guys. You know, super charismatic. I mean, I hope at some point we get Machismo, Jay Lethal, number 3. He's going to win an ROH belt probably. You know, here at some point, probably the TV title maybe if Joe wants to take a little break, go eat some Twinkies. But, yeah, Jay Lethal, number 3.
I disagree with. I mean, I get that these are our opinions, but I disagree with that one for the same reason I disagree with Jericho. Like, neither of them need a belt, like, at all.
Sure, yeah.
Not that anyone needs a belt. Like, my number 3 doesn't need a belt, but I want him to have one.
Top 2 don't need a belt.
My number 3 is probably won't qualify for this list much longer. That is Bryan Danielson. He's a huge part of AEW now, and he deserves a shot with that title. Like, he deserved it more than anyone except for MJF. Yeah, but putting the belt on Bryan Danielson is just good business, in my opinion.
Yes.
He's the best wrestler in the world, and he's not too shabby on the mic either, and he's just awesome. So put a belt on him.
You love him whether he's heel or face, right?
Yeah. He can't be a true heel because he's so good. So put a belt on him already.
Put him on belt on him already. Do it, Primo. Put a belt on him already.
Right now.
Put him already.
I will send him Kurt. Just kidding, Kurt. I will not send him.
Just kidding.
See, that's why he needs to come back home. Because you're just over there waiting to give him away.
No, I was kidding.
Number 2?
Comfortable where he is. Thank you.
Top 2, baby. Let's do it.
Number 2. Well, I've been saying this for a while now that I want him to have a title. I can't wait till he does.
Yes.
Seth Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins at number 2. I mean, he's fantastic. He's been on fire for like ever, and I can't wait till he holds another belt. Championship. Belts hold your pants up.
That's true.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I mean, awesome pick. For me at number 2, it was AJ's number 3. I went with Bryan Danielson. Probably best technical wrestler in the world. And he's the dude is just super over. I think he wins the title. It's a very, very safe play. They can do a lot of things with Bryan as champ. MJF feud with Daniel Bryan. You imagine MJF on a mic talking about Daniel Bryan, the Bellas, all the ammo he'd have over there. You know what I mean? Just like yeah. It'd be awesome. So
you just make fun of vegans.
Yes, all that.
Yeah. Fuck vegans.
Bryan Danielson, he brings back the hemp belt.
Oh my god.
All right, AJ, who's your number 2? And we'll get to our top picks.
My number 2 is the same as Primo's number 2, and that is Seth Rollins. He had one bad stretch the first time he turned face. He was just kind of a bland baby face, but the crowd really wanted it. I think his next face turn is going to be just absolutely fire. And he doesn't even need to turn face, if he doesn't want to, because he's Seth freaking Rollins. Everything he does is awesome.
He has reached Randy Orton territory. And when I say that, it means he could be the most disgusting heel out there, and the crowd's going to love him.
Yep. Also, he could carry the company. If it's not Roman, it could be Seth Rollins. I love KO too, but I don't think KO
100%
could carry a company. Seth Rollins absolutely could.
Sure. Absolutely.
I think maybe even more so than Roman Reigns, because
I'd argue that he has helped carry the company. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely he has. I just think he deserves to be the top guy, even though he's not my number 1. So I clearly don't think he deserves to be the top guy.
All right, Primo, kick us off, man. Go from 5 to 1.
5 to 1. We have number 5, Ricky Starks. Absolute Ricky Starks. Give that man a title. Number 4, Jon Moxley. I'm still sour about his short title run there with AEW Championship. That whole thing was a fuck up, honestly.
I agree. It's a mess.
Snafu.
Number 3, Chris Jericho. Number 2, Seth Rollins. And number 1, Kevin Owens.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Kevin Owens.
I was going to headbutt your face.
Always rock. No, I really like Kevin Owens, and I especially love that he's come back and doing the prize fire thing. And dude is just he's so loved. He's so awesome.
Yeah.
And he looks like my brother.
And he's clever as shit. He's clever as hell.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of the smartest people on the roster.
All right, so my top 5 was Dolph Ziggler, 4 Kevin Owens, 3 Jay Lethal, 2 Bryan Danielson. My number 1, let me say this first. When I first came up with this idea, the first person that popped into my head was Miro. And I kind of digressively came back on Miro, because I put all these names on a paper, and then I kind of started thinking, okay, how I want to legit do my list, right? But I argued myself, or politicked against myself, and put Miro was all the way out of the top 5 now. I couldn't adjust putting him over these other guys because, I just think that all these guys just, needed a title a little bit more than him right now. Like he's going to have a title and he's great. But, I just kind of want to tell you guys that because I thought it was kind of funny. As I thought, oh, Miro, he's probably going to be in my top 2 because just the way I was thinking, maybe at the moment, and then I argued with myself like, all right, he's not even in the top 5 now. But my number 1, very fair, very simple. Yeah, it's Seth Rollins, man. He's, he's so good at everything. He's, he reinvents himself. Like I've talked about, like he's getting in that Jericho status, man, of reinventing himself, all different, shades of Seth. And, I like it when, you get a bunch of different gimmicks over, so.
That's true too.
Yeah.
And I like that he'll have the ability in the future. He could, even now, really, he could come back. He could be the Kingslayer again.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
He could be any of those things that he was. The Architect. He
Yeah.
could go back,
Joker.
And it's just, I love this iteration.
Yeah, this is
But
great, man.
It's just so good. And I'm still sour that they went nowhere with that Royal Rumble match.
Nowhere. We're still waiting for the payoff from that match. I think we'll get it.
Seth won, by the way.
Yeah, Seth won the match. He did. Okay.
All right.
My top 5 with 2 honorable mentions, which are Sonya Deville, DB, you're wrong, and Bucky Collins. Give him a bump. You just Bucky Collins.
I did not. That was it,
Motherfucker.
Sonya. That was it, Sonya.
Yeah,
Bucky
you're wrong
knows
about
better.
that. Number 5, my boy Finn Balor. Number 4, Asuka. Number 3, Bryan Danielson. Number 2, Seth Rollins. And number 1, this is the name I immediately wrote down right when you announced we were doing this. He is my favorite. He has the best entrance music ever. He's just charisma personified. And he's a legend throughout the world. It's Shinsuke Nakamura. How has he not had... It disgusts me that he has not had a world championship.
There it is.
Yeah.
Just the IC belts, all he's had in WWE, right?
Tag belts, IC belts.
Okay.
And I believe that's it.
Yeah.
And that's disgusting to me. You have one of the best in the world, and you had an inexplicable... Like, how do you have a bad feud when it's Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles? How do you have a bad feud with that? But WWE managed to book them into a bad feud where Shinsuke was just focused on AJ's balls for 6 months straight, and it was atrocious.
Yeah, undercutting him the whole time.
Yes, Shinsuke deserves
low blow.
And I think I'm still sticking with my prediction. It's out of left field, and it's not going to happen. But my prediction that Shinsuke Nakamura will be the one to beat Roman Reigns for one of the belts. Not both, one of them.
All righty. Well, there's our top 5, boys. Next week, we're going to be talking top 5 tag teams not named FTR. Hey, everybody knows they're the greatest right now. No need to argue that. Talk about that. Next week, we're going to be talking top 5 tag teams not named FTR. They can be with a title. They can be without a title. Just bring it as the reason why you think they're the top 5 in
just
the
current,
world
right
now. Yeah, current.
Current?
Yeah.
Okay.
Current guys on rosters. So, all right, it's time for that game show music, Primo. You're going to take over promo school for us today. Let's get it.
All right, so it is my turn to do promo school again, and I just love this because I have so many favorites. And I got to choose this week's. So mine. Do you just want me to play it? You don't want me? You want me to talk about it?
Well, I want you to talk about it. Tell us what we're going to be listening to.
All right, perfect. So one of my favorite feuds was Legend Killer Randy Orton versus Mick Foley.
Nope.
And one of my favorite matches is the hardcore match they had for the Intercontinental Championship Backlash 2004. So, like that match helped shape Randy Orton into being what he became.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, this is a promo leading up to that match.
It's been said many times that you never forget your first. Call me sentimental, but I think that's true. Because in my life there have been many, dozens, maybe hundreds, but I've never quite forgotten my very first one. There were times on the road where I'd pick up a couple a week, use them for a couple of days, and then hand them off to a lucky fan. I've never forgotten my first. My first flannel shirt, given to me the Christmas of 1977, 3 sizes too large, and not worn in the last 10 years until just a few days ago I went through a box of my favorite things and gleefully withdrew it, intending to wear it in my match at Backlash in Edmonton. Now, it may sound funny that a guy whose name is synonymous with hardcore wrestling would become so fond, even in love, with an inanimate object. But I've always found the word hardcore really had nothing to do with chairs. It had nothing to really do with tables, garbage cans, cookie sheets. The name hardcore signified that I had an attitude that meant I was going to go above and beyond what it took to give the fans the greatest show possible. It was a word that said, I love the business and I love the fans enough to put my body through unimaginable pain. And even when I had the chance to go to Japan and take part in some barbaric matches, I did it with love on my mind. After all, in 1994, I had a 1-year-old baby girl. I had a 3-year-old boy. I had a mortgage to pay, and I did what I had to do to pay the bills. So even though some of the matches I took part in may have been described as inhumane, deep down in my heart, I rested with the comfort and the knowledge that I was doing it for love. And I swore I'd never go back. I swore I'd never watch those matches again, never watch what I put those poor Japanese people through. But in trying to recapture the fire and the passion that I thought I lacked at WrestleMania, I went back and I looked at the tapes. And I did barbaric things. I did inhumane things. But it wasn't the moves. It wasn't the barbed wire. It wasn't the tacks that caught my eye. It was my eyes. Over and over, I'd watch the tapes, rewind, play. And it was there. It was a look in my eyes that said deep down, maybe there was a little part of me that didn't mind inflicting that type of damage. Deep down, maybe there was a little part of me that even liked it. Deep down, when I heard the screams, the suffering, the agony, maybe deep down, I even loved it. Randy Orton, these were honorable men, nice men. They never spit in my face. They never conducted a calculated campaign calling me a coward. They never took cheap shot, triple team efforts to send me to the hospital. But the fact is, when I had the chance, I wrapped the arm in barbed wire and I tore them apart. So if I were you, I'd be asking myself a simple question, and that question would be, then what the hell is this man going to do to me at Backlash, knowing full well he hates my guts? The answer, Randy Orton, is simple. I am going to kick your ass all over it. I'm not going to kick your ass all over Edmonton. Because I hear that all the time. It's become cliche. I'm going to kick your ass, man. I'm going to kick your ass. I'm not going to kick your ass in Edmonton, Randy. I'm going to be a little bit more descriptive than that. In order to be descriptive, well, I'm going to have to introduce you to another old friend of mine. Another friend I saw in my box of favorite things, Randy Orton. Say hello to my friend, Barbie. And Barbie's not going to kick your ass. Barbie is going to get sunk into your skull, and I'm going to carve caverns of gore into your virgin flesh. I'm going to bring on the type of bleeding usually reserved for special effects teams in Mel Gibson biblical efforts. Randy Orton, I'm going to tear you apart. I'm going to take Barbie, and I'm going to take off. I'm going to take Barbie, and I'm going to take Barbie. I'm going to teach you what it means to be hardcore. I'm going to rip. I'm going to tear. I'm going to gorge. I'm going to possibly disembowel. And I'm going to love it.
There it is. So it was one of those. Basically, Mick Foley was trying to reinvigorate himself back into being that hardcore, brutal person that he was earlier in his career.
That was amazing.
Hell yeah, it's Mick Foley. It's fucking awesome.
Loved his
it.
quietness talks, and then he gets loud real all of a sudden,
yeah,
and then he goes back to quiet.
He could do a masterclass on that.
Yes, like Jake Roberts.
Or Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe does his promos like that.
Yep. Yeah, so that there it is. That's promo school for this week. I really like that one. Like I said, that's one of my favorite feuds. There's actually he has a few promos from that specific feud, and this is the one I chose.
That one was a classic, man. Well done there, man. Well done. All right, boys, it's time to go tally up on the King of the Mountain. Let's see if you guys extended your streaks here. Let's go, Lemmy.
Time to play the
game! All right, boys.
It's the sound I make if I accidentally taste onions.
All right, so the current King of the Mountain is still Primo at 4. Current streaks, AJ is at 2, Primo at 1, and me at 0. So last week we chose NASCAR playoffs was in Kansas Speedway last week. We were choosing between the number 3 of Austin Dillon, which reminded me of Steve Austin, and then the number 48 of Alex Bowman. The wrestling reference there was Alex Wright, Das Wonder Kid. So we picked between the two. So AJ went first. He picked the 48. Primo picked the 48. And to follow suit, I picked the 48 as well. So AJ was at 2, trying to go to 3. Primo's trying to get to 2. And I'm just trying to get off the stinking ground here. I've sitting at 0 for so daggone long. So, all right, to start us off, let's see where the number 3 car of Austin Dillon finished. He finished 14th. So we need Alex Bowman, the 48, to finish higher than 14th. Alex Bowman finished 4th.
Yeah.
We all get a dub. Everybody gets a win. AJ goes to 3. Primo goes to 2. And I go to 1, baby.
Hell yeah. Good job, DB.
Yeah, you're out of the zeros.
I'm out of the zeros, man. All right. This one's going to be a fun one, boys. We're jumping over in Primo's wheelhouse, but not quite Primo's wheelhouse. What I'm trying to say is we're picking from an NCAA football game this Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 Central. This game belongs to the Big Sky Conference. We're going to be picking from the 0 and 2 Northern Colorado Bears, which I know Bobby Lashley is from Colorado, so there's your wrestling reference. So the Northern Colorado Bears, Bobby
Bear
Lashley,
country.
right?
Bear country.
But they're playing at the 0 and 2 little college from Beaumont, Texas, called the Lamar Cardinals. Father James Mitchell's real name is Lamar. I know that. So there's your wrestling reference. So you're picking from Bobby Lashley and Father James Mitchell here. So We got 2 0-2 teams going. The Northern Colorado Bears versus the Lamar Cardinals. AJ, you are the highest king with the highest, or you got the highest streak right now at 3. Who you going with?
If
Well,
you
we gotta
choose
go.
correctly, you will tie me.
We gotta go with Colorado on this one, just because I love your connections. Like sometimes they're so tenuous. Like it's fantastic. Bobby Lashley from Colorado.
I literally go and pick a sport. Like I try to pick something off the wall that none of us really know anything about. Yes, we all know college football, but we don't know nothing about these teams. You know what I mean? They're both 0-2. Somebody's got to win here.
Yes.
So Northern Colorado is the visiting team. Lamar is the home team. I'll go next. I'm gonna go with the home team just because they're playing at home. I'm going with the Father James Mitchells of Lamar. Primo, what about you, buddy?
So, strategically,
you are from Texas.
Strategically,
don't piss off the locals.
It would be smart for me to pick against AJ. In the event that he loses, I would then be ahead.
This is true.
Also, I'm from Texas. I'm picking the home team. Ain't nothing like Texas football.
There you go.
Lamar Cardinals, 100%. The James Mitchells, the sinister Lamar Cardinals.
All right, so me and Primo on the same side. AJ trying to move his streak up to 4 to tie Primo for the King of the Mountain. So if next week he can tie and win, he will be making a pick to possibly break the King of the Mountain streak. So it's going to be a good one coming up here, man. We're getting some streak. We're doing better at this actually than you guys are. I'm shitting the bed. But,
hey, you're in the win column right now.
But you guys done pretty good here. So should be a pretty fun game there. So, so if you're bored Saturday, 7-6 Central, check out the game there. All right, boys, we've been talking about it for a while. We chased her down finally, and she was able to be on the pod. Man, what an awesome interview this was, talking to Missa Kate. She is the Chicago sweetheart. She loves her. She loves kicking people in the face and loves her Krispy Kreme donuts at the same time. It was cool, man, because I didn't know a whole lot about Missa Kate other than just seeing her wrestle. And this was a fun interview.
It was awesome. I could have talked to her. I mean, we always say I could have talked to him forever, but no, she was cool. She was very interesting. She was weird too, like in the best possible way. She was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was a great conversation, and we were very thankful that she came on the pod. She had some great stories, and the whole thing with kicking people in the face and being and loving to do it, it was awesome.
Yeah, and she's been hot lately. She's wrestled. Well, you'll hear us talking about it. Ruby Soho on AEW Dark. She's been in a lot of NWA women's tournaments lately. She's been on just NWA period. She's all over the independent scene. And, might end up getting signed here soon as she's starting to kind of really pick up steam here. And we talk about a lot of things across the board, all the way to, who's hit her the hardest to, her graffiti pants that I call them.
Graffiti pants.
Yeah, I didn't know what else to call them, but, I think she liked how I referenced it. So, but if I didn't, my apologies. But thank you so much. Here it is, our interview. Great chat with the Chicago sweetheart, Missa Kate. There it is, man. We finally got to talk to her. It was a great interview. I always like to know who's really hit, I always like to ask that question. Who's hit you the hardest? She said Thunder Rosa, and I mean, that makes total sense, right? Like,
I mean, I wouldn't want to be hit by Thunder Rosa. Fuck that.
No,
thank you.
No, I wouldn't, but.
No, the Texan, that's what we need.
Yeah, y'all are stiff down there, huh?
Right, absolutely.
Bunch of stiffs. Exactly. Oh, man. But, yeah, thank you so much to Missa Kate, man. Go check out a show that she's on. She's going to be on your TV pretty soon anyway. I hope AEW gives her a shot with a contract so she can get in that women's division. Hey, she's a fucking firecracker, man. You know what I mean? And I don't think I'd fuck with her. Like, I'd be scared. No. Like, if she's my girlfriend, I'd be scared, I think.
Get kicked in the face.
Sure. I mean, why not? But you know, I would get to eat a lot of Krispy Kreme donuts. So that'd be pretty.
This is true.
Yeah, they need to get on board and sponsor this woman.
By the way, that'll be $10 Krispy Kreme.
They will.
Absolutely.
Primo, if you're ready, sir, it's time to close the show. Let's get it.
This is the crock rockin', Nickelback poppin', curls for all the girls, the Perminator, Sam Beal. And I am on the Sit Down Marks podcast, and we're going to get some perfection today, baby.
Time to close the show for Primo. Reminder, we are live every Wednesday on the Sit Down Marks YouTube channel, and the audio version drops every Thursday wherever you get your podcasts. Also, we are on SportsWire Radio every Friday evening right before the...
I was wondering what the fuck you were doing for a second.
Oh, that's right. The number one sports radio show, Thomas Bright's Sports Report. Right before I started. Friday evening and throughout the week. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review. And if you love the pod, tell all your wrestling friends. I've said it before. Tell your non-wrestling friends. Make them wrestling fans. Tell your dog. Tell your mama. Tell everybody. And just leave some words in our when you review it. By the way, we'd like those. Also, we have merch. That merch can be found at www.tpublic.com/stores/sitdownmarks. That's www.tpublic.com/STORESSITDOWNMARKS.
I want to say this too. I got a 30% off code for anybody that the first person to text hit us up on our social media at Sit Down Marks on Twitter, DB_Sit Down Marks on Instagram. The first person to text me, what's that code for TeePublic? I will send you a 30% off code and you can get a shirt right now, but you got to use it to buy a Sit Down Marks shirt. So
yeah,
first person gets it.
Absolutely.
Can't buy anyone else's merch for that.
Can't buy anyone's stuff, no.
30% off. That's a good deal, too.
That's almost 40% off, which is almost 50% off, which is basically half off.
AJ, tell us what we're talking about next week, brother.
Next week, we will be talking about our top 5 tag teams not named FTR. Shit. But anyways, in next week's Dropkick discussion, also, we talk Impact Wrestling's Victory Road card coming up, and of course, what's going on in wrestling and TV and stuff. And most likely next week, DB will once again thrash me in another edition of Primo's Music Class. That's fair. It's most likely going to happen. We will see you all next week.
Hey,
and
we all have our strengths.
It's not music class for me. Like this is an accurate outro for the show. So yeah, thank you. Join us next week, and thank you for letting us speak into your ears.
Boys, got anything else before we go home here? I feel like wrestling's in a little bit of a lull, like not drama wise, but wrestling, wise, I guess.
I think the drama has put a little bit of a dampen on the business right now.
I agree. And WWE's, I'm sorry, Roman Reigns is getting stale. He has all the belts. Bloodline has all the belts. They have 5 belts now. I mean, that's too many for 3 people.
Technically, they have 7.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you count, they have.
I do mean, yeah.
They have 5 titles.
Right.
That's true.
Too much.
Also,
too much.
I guess 6 if you count the title of the Bloodline.
Let's see what you did there.
You literal fuck.
All right, keep spreading the good word of wrestling. AJ, take us home, brother.
Brother.
What do I say here? Brother.
You have a choice now.
Brother.
You don't say brother.
Thump me, brother.
Grab them cakes, brother.
Grab them brothers, cake.
Oh, grab them cakes. Oh, what's all you do? Grab them cakes. Listen, I don't care what it takes.
right, so you know how you like remember stupid shit in life, right? Like just random dumb stuff, okay?
Always.
So I'm at an indie show one time, right? And Father James Mitchell is there. It's like after the show, I believe. Anyway, there's some Mark in the crowd. He's like talking to Father James about this and that, you know. He goes, and I'm standing like literally 2 people from him, so I hear the whole conversation. He goes, this guy's talking to Father James Mitchell, and he goes, is your real name Jeff? He goes, no, it's Lamar. And that's why I remember his name was Lamar. Since then, it's fucking stupid, but you know, like,
Christ.
it's dumb. It's so dumb, but you know.
Now I'm never gonna forget it either.
Yes, Lamar. Top guys